You know that feeling when you're just stuck, circling the same problem for weeks, months, maybe even years? You've tried everything, but the real solution just seems to be hiding from you. Well, today we're going to break that cycle. We're going to do it by changing one single thing: the question you're asking. Look, you've put in the hours. You've read the books, you've crunched the numbers, you've tested all the strategies. You've had setbacks, you've picked yourself up, and you've gone right back at it, always chasing that breakthrough. You are persistent, you are dedicated, and you are probably pretty tired of hitting the same wall over and over again. And yet, for all that work, the answer you're looking for feels just as far away as ever. The reason why is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. You're not struggling to find the answer. You're just asking the wrong question. So, what is this wrong question we keep talking about? Well, it's the one that seems like the most obvious one to ask. It's the one that sends us scrambling for external solutions, for methods, for tools, for some kind of secret formula. It's the first question we're all taught to ask. How do I make money? Or how do I get fit? Or how do I build this business? See, that how question immediately points your focus outward. You start hunting for the perfect plan, the best system, the ultimate strategy. But here's the thing. While those tools are important, they're not the root of the problem. And here's why. It comes down to this idea. The container is compromised. You could have the most amazing, foolproof method in the entire world. But if you pour that brilliant method into a mind, a container, that's filled with fear or ego or a desperate need to be right, that method is going to break down every single time. The strategy was never the problem. The person trying to use it was compromised from the start. Okay, so this brings us to the big pivot. If how is the wrong question, we need a better one. We need a question that stops us from staring at the map and makes us look at the person who's holding it. This is the shift that changes absolutely everything. Instead of asking how, we start asking who. Who is the kind of person that succeeds at this consistently? What do they believe? How do they think? What are their internal settings that allow them to execute without getting in their own way? See? This question sends you looking inward. And that's the only place the real work actually gets done. And when you put these two questions side by side, the difference is it's night and day. Asking how gets you surface-level answers, methods and systems that are fragile. But asking who, that leads to deep structural changes. It helps you build an identity and a psychology that create lasting results. Because, let's be real, the right person can make almost any decent method work, but the wrong person will find a way to mess up even the perfect one. So let's do that. Let's actually build a composite sketch of this who. What does the person who consistently wins actually look like on the inside? What are the core pillars of their mental and emotional architecture? First off, they're comfortable with uncertainty. In fact, they're more than comfortable. They thrive in it. They understand a fundamental truth. Real opportunity only exists where the outcome is not guaranteed. That queasy feeling of the unknown that makes most people run for the hills, to them, that's the smell of opportunity. That's their edge. Number two, their conviction is 100% internal. It doesn't come from the news or what the crowd is screaming or short-term noise. Why? Because they did the hard work before they ever made a move. So what other people think after the fact, it's just irrelevant. The work is already done. They also play the long game. They have a much longer time horizon. They are not obsessed with any single win or any single loss. They see themselves as building a career over years, even decades. Every event, good or bad, is just one data point out of thousands. And no single point is ever enough to knock them off course. And this one is absolutely critical. They pre-approve every single outcome before they even begin. The risk is defined, the potential loss is accepted and signed off on internally. This means nothing the market or life can throw at them can be an emotional surprise. They've already made peace with the worst-case scenario. And this all comes down to the most important separation of all. Their identity, who they are as a person, is completely detached from their results. They are not a good person when they win, and they are not a bad person when they lose. They are simply a person who executes a process. They are in charge of grading the process. The world, the market, that gets to grade the outcome. And those two report cards are kept in completely separate file folders. Okay, so this is a powerful idea, right? But philosophy without action is just entertainment. So let's get practical. How do you actually make this pivot in your own life? How do you go from asking how to truly living the who? Here are 3 concrete shifts you can start making today.
First, before you even think about learning a new method or strategy, stop and ask yourself a new question. Who does this require me to be? Second, reallocate your resources. You need to invest just as much time, money, and energy on internal self-knowledge, psychology, reflection, philosophy, as you do on external market knowledge. And third, you have to reframe your entire goal. It's no longer about just hitting a certain number.
Your new job is to become the kind of person who can execute a solid process without their ego or their fear getting in the way. The money, the success you're chasing, that's just the natural byproduct of becoming that person. So your job is to build the person, not to chase the result. And guess what? Building the person, that is a goal that is 100% within your control. You see, at the end of the day, this is so much more than a simple mindset hack. It's a fundamental shift in where you place your energy and your focus. The goal isn't just to learn a new skill, it's to become the answer yourself. It's to build yourself into the person for whom success is just a natural, inevitable outcome. It's a harder journey, for sure, but it's the only one that actually leads somewhere real and lasting.
So, I'll leave you with the only question that truly, deeply matters. It's not what are you learning, it's not what are you earning, it's this. Who are you becoming? Answer that question honestly, and you will know exactly what you need to do next.